Welcome, everybody, to the King Moolah TV podcast. This is part three of dating outside of your race. Okay, so I just did part two not too long ago. I dove into weird TikTok couples, who would benefits, and love is love. A little bit into love is love, but this is the third one and final part of this three-part episode. Not three-part episode. Three-part on this topic that's cut into three episodes now. So let me just dive into this. All right. Representation. There's a lot of, like I said, when it comes to social media, the representation for interracial couples, they get a lot of love. And there's a lot of interracial couple accounts, and I've mainly seen it on Instagram, where they get a lot of likes, like way more likes than the black love pages that's surrounded by for black people, black couples involved. So it's very weird, but it's understandable because people would rather support that because they think because it seems positive. Nothing wrong with interracial couples. I mean, I know people who are in interracial couples and aren't on nonsense, but the representation of on social media and how they're trying to, or how it's trying to be portrayed in mass media like TV shows and networks and stuff like that, not good. Okay, because they always seem to make weird tropes out of black men and black women, and what's tropes for everybody, and they try to make the white their white partners so desirable and so attractive and so positive, and that they try to feed us this through television, through social media, through all it's happening on all fronts when it comes to media. So the thing is, like, we have to be able to recognize that and be able to say, oh no, like, we want more black representation that does not have to be accepted in a form of interracial relationships. Okay, we want black love. We want that isn't um filled with negative tropes about us, that isn't that isn't stereotypical, trying to make us negative portrayals of who we actually are, or just mainly just highlighting negative parts of our culture that we had to see growing up, or things that are traumatizing to us, and they try to put that and fill us with that for shock value, for just for high rate, mainly for shock value and ratings and stuff like that. But they're not actually, they're disingenuous, and they're not willing to actually give us good representation in the movies, TV shows, or all across the board. And that's one thing as black people we need to focus on heavily, because our image is very important. It's going to determine how well we succeed in our future, and children, how our children are going to see us, and everything. Disclaimer, I don't have no children. No thanks. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a power move for the media companies, to show their dominance and show that they can do whatever that they want with the money that they have and the resources that they have, because they can portray us any which way how, and we pretty much just take all the crumbs that we can get, because we're getting representation. It's not good representation. It's not real representation. It's just whatever they feel like making us, because they have the money and resources. That's all that it is. It's a game to them. It doesn't matter as long as it gives them the profit that they need. As long as they can maintain most of the wealth and the and their assets, while giving us crumbs, while giving us a very small piece of the pie. They'll gladly do it over and over again, as long as they see that we are gladly over and over happily accepting these crumbs that they give us. Now, for me, I've come to a point where I'm like, they're never going to like give us the proper representation that we need, and we should actually. They steal a lot from us, from our cultures and all over the world in diaspora, and try to portray it as repackage it as something like they made it up, repackage it through like white characters, stuff like that. The heroics and a lot of African symbols and symbolism show up in these white shows, superhero shows, especially superhero shows, and all of this, that, and the other. But that is also for another episode. Yeah. Um, yeah. So it's a power move for them, and it's really they really don't need to do anything substantial for us, so that they just meet it to us. Well, excuse me, for them, it is just a diversity quota. For them, it's not something that they really care to give us, because they're only doing it to meet a diversity quota. And so, because since and oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm not flowing like how I just was. Let me get back on track. All right. So it's a diversity quota for them. As long as they know that we will accept crumbs, they will continuously do that. Okay. The biggest thing is, I feel like we got to look at ourselves as Black people and see what do we really want, and how do we really want it. Because a lot of the times we scream and yell and fight for inclusion in their spaces, just because they can. I think is mainly because they reach all across the nation. I'm speaking in the US specifically, so anybody outside of the US, I'm just giving you insight on what the US, the people in the US think, or what's really going on in the US, while giving you a portrayal. You might be able to relate in your own cultures, in your own countries, of like certain things that you would like to see, and people not really speaking up about it, or this, that, and the other. But that's pretty much what I'm speaking from, where I'm speaking from. So as Black people, we really need to, honestly, we should be making our own brands. And for me, I put myself in that same boat. I'm not just over here talking, oh, we should do this and do that, and then I'm sitting over here continuously investing in these white companies, media companies, and white shows and stuff like that. I put my money where my mouth is. I don't put my foot in my mouth at all, because ever since a few years ago, I've been heavily investing into Black media. I've been investing into a lot of Black media, also Black businesses, Black stores, Black online stores, Black owned businesses, Black clothing brands, Black comic books, medias, and that's pretty much media portrayal. And they're using social media. So through social media, I found so many Black brands. It is ridiculous how there's not enough backing for all of the ones that I see. Okay, and it's crazy to me. We can create our own content. Actually, the content is out there. It is out there. You have to look for it, but you also have to be willing to look for it, because some people do not want to look for anything. They would rather just consume whatever mainstream media gives them. When it comes to music, TV shows, film, anything that the mainstream media, because they have so much influence and power and range all across the country, this is exactly what they would do. They would absolutely not give not do the work if somebody else will do the work for them. That's the problem. That's a big problem. That's actually a societal problem. And I will get to that. Oh my gosh, there's so many things I could touch on, but I want to stay focused on the topic at hand, which would be dating outside of your race. And I started bibling about media and stuff like that. Well, it still ties down to my point on dating outside of your race, but I did get a bit off track. So let me get back to dating outside of your race, because yeah, hold on guys, I'm coming through. Yeah, I have so many ideas, I just got to write it down. Hold on. All right. So the power moves for dating outside of your race. Somehow, now when it comes to dating outside of your race, individually, is it really a power move? I wouldn't say so, because it's more so a personal thing. And you know, if you do find somebody who you like who isn't your same race, and you're happy for, and you're happy about it, okay, and that's what it is. I personally do not care who you smash, who you're dating, or anything like that. Okay, it's really not. I really don't have. I I really don't care as much as I used to when it comes to that. It's just like it is what it is. But as long as you're not portraying like it is the best relationship ever in the world to have to be in, like there's no such thing. Okay, everybody has their own preference. Everybody has their own way of way their relationship should operate, and it should always be like that. But a lot of people like to conflict and mix things up and like deal with people who aren't in their best interest of what they actually want in a partner. And a lot of the times they're doing it because they're hurt, especially with dating outside of your race. They're doing it because they're hurt, or that they feel like they don't have enough options, or that they feel like they dealt with, well, they their personal choices and who they've dated have shaped them from not dating them again. And honestly, you shouldn't use race as a indicator on whether you should seek someone that you're interested in or not. Okay, because that's not a good indicator at all. Like, you just saying, just because somebody is, like, for black people, just because you've been hurt by another one of your black partners in the past, that automatically describes the whole demographic. You have not dated 48 million people. You have not dated 48 million people, black people, in the US. Like I said, I'm mentioning it in the US. So if you have not dated 48 million black people, then there's absolutely no reason for you to even be mm, considering something like that. But a lot of people like to function off of this idea that like, is basically, like I was saying, it's because of their hurt and their pain and their past trauma with relationships dealing with their particular partners that are black, that all of a sudden that every black person after them is disqualified from even, is not even given a chance at being dated, because apparently they think that, and it's been here for a while, like they think that love, like they won't receive the type of love that they receive from dating outside of their race, which is crazy to me. All human beings are capable of love. Okay, all of them. Does not matter the race. All of them are capable of love. Now, if some of them will not love, then okay, then it's you. Then you get to move on. You get to choose to move on, or how some of them may stay, but you get to choose to move on to the next person. It doesn't have to deal with race. It's just doing that in general is not even a good indicator at all of who you should be dating. It's not. It's not a good thing to even use race as an indicator. Okay, I'm saying this as much as possible because you people really have to drill it in their head that race is not an indicator to stable partners, to healthy partnership, to healthy relationships. All this stuff is unhealthy. So determining somebody from their race is completely unhealthy. It's not a good indicator at all. Okay? If you believe love is love, then how about y'all need to start being honest with people. Y'all seriously need to start being honest. Love is not love unless society is honest with what type of love we've been dealing with, the love that we've been hashing out with each other for the past, oh, a long time. It's a really long time. centuries. No, I'm not even gonna go back to slavery. I'm gonna keep it right here within 60 years. The love that we've been giving each other for 60 years, it's about as comparable as um dealing with love back then, and it was completely different. So I don't understand why um people say that. Well, I understand why, but it's just I just don't. I get turned off when people say that. It's not something that they understand what they're saying. A lot of people don't even understand what they're saying. They're just doing it because it is a buzzword. It is a buzzword to whatever thing that they're trying to harbor, or whatever idea that was put into their mind, either at a young age or at the age that where they feel like maybe this is true because a lot of people are saying it. And when a lot of people do say it, then typically that would be you to change your opinion, at least for people who do not study as much as I do, because it's really hard to sway me. Okay, unless like you're one of the teachers that I like listen to, and even then I kind of want to. I even kind of challenge a lot of the things that a lot of these teachers be saying, and a lot of these books and stuff. Well, not so much the books, but yeah, pretty much just the ideas and the concepts. I like to challenge them. I like to see. I like to experiment and like see what works and what doesn't work, and this that, and the other. But I'm rambling, and time to get back to the point. My conclusion to this 3-part series of dating outside your race is: look, y'all need to stop playing with. Y'all need to start being honest, man. Especially these weird interracial couples that portray themselves as being a superior couple to every other couple out there, to same race couples, intra-racial couples. Yeah, intra-racial couples. Instead of interracial, and there's intra-racial, INTRA, racial. Okay, y'all look that up. Y'all need to stop. These interracial couples need to stop acting like they are superior. They need to go heal that past trauma that they're running away from, and that's a lot of people in society. Oh my gosh, when we get to an episode about trauma, it's just not really. There's just not enough words to always say, because there's always new things to say about these things. That's why a lot of these things can be said, and can be said in different ways. That's why we're going to be hearing about relationships. You're definitely going to hear me talking about relationships a lot, because I think I said this already, but relationships are and if you haven't heard it now, but I'm going to say it now. I'm probably going to say it in all the episodes dealing with relationships. And it has to do with this: relationships are the foundation to society. Okay, doesn't matter if it's between workers, among each other, people who are trying to find partnership in other people, trying to find friendships, who have a power dynamic of like boss, manager, and employee, or employer employee. All of that, relationships, falls under relationships, and they are the basis to society. They're the basis to our cooperation, to teamwork within each other, and how we treat each other. All of that matters. So I know a lot of people try to talk about relationships as if they're experts, but they're not. They never really say anything like what I'm saying right now, because they never really get to the root cause of what I'm saying. Because and I like to get to the root, and I like to bring a lot of insight and information so that people can actually make the best decisions that they can possible. And that's really what I want to do with this podcast, is to make it to where people see themselves for who they are, and actually know what they want to do with their life, and who they want to find partnership with, and or if they don't want to be with anybody, because that's fine too. So yeah, dating outside of your race, people need to be honest with each other. These interracial couples, stop thinking that you're superior than anybody else. um Love will not be love until everybody is honest with each other. Um, Dating interracially is fine, as long as you, like I said, if you're not acting like you're superior, or that, or you're just doing it to put your black people, or whatever other interracial couples, with whoever the person who decided to date interracially is doing it just because they want to bash the race that they're from, the race that so yeah, if everybody would just be quiet and stop trying to portray themselves as this, that, and the other, and just live your life without trying to bash somebody else or trying to put a whole demographic race base down, then you really just a whole demographic down, then society would be a whole lot better. But there are people who want this a type of attention because they know it will bring them attention, and it would bring them a lot of attention, and that's a lot of these people think they are attention. They are attention seekers, and one thing about the attention seekers, they are horses, 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 horses. All right, but yeah, forget all that. Okay, stop being attention horses. Okay, stop being attention horses. Live your life properly, love properly. Stop bashing people who hurt you in the past, or stop bashing a whole demographic just because of the few people that hurt you in the past. You don't know everybody, you don't live with everybody, you never dated everybody. Stop acting like you did, okay? And society would be a lot better if you guys would just be quiet and just live your life properly, okay? Without this weird notion or this weird thing to prove. Nothing to prove. You have nothing to prove. Leave it alone. Let it go. It's over. It's done with. Finito. Done. Gone. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.